Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after my parents disowned me? I honestly don't know if I'm being petty or if I'm finally just standing up for myself, but my entire family is acting like I'm the worst person alive. So here we go. I, 28 female, have a younger sister, Emily, 24 female, who has been the golden child in my family for as long as I can remember. Growing up, she was the perfect daughter, straight A's, involved in everything, always showered with praise. Meanwhile, I was the kid who got good enough grades, stayed out of trouble, and just existed in the background. If Emily wanted something, she got it. If I wanted something, I was being difficult or selfish. It's been like this my whole life, and I've honestly just learned to deal with it. Emily is getting married soon, and she asked me to be her maid of honor. To be honest, I was surprised she even asked because we're not close. She's always been distant toward me, and I've always been treated more like an obligation than an actual sibling. But I said yes because I thought, why not? Maybe this would be a chance to bond, and if nothing else, I figured it would be easier to just go along with it than to deal with the inevitable fallout of saying no. Well, fast forward to the actual wedding planning, and it became very clear that my role wasn't really about being her sister. It was about doing things for her. She expected me to help plan everything, run around doing errands, and basically dedicate my life to this wedding. She and my mom started planning a pre-wedding family trip a week before the wedding, which they expected everyone to attend. It wasn't optional, it was mandatory for the sake of family bonding. I told them early on that I wouldn't be able to take that much time off work, but I'd still come to the wedding and do my part as maid of honor. That wasn't good enough. My mom and Emily sat me down and gave me this whole speech about how this is the most important moment of Emily's life and how I need to be there to support her fully. They told me to think about the bigger picture and how family should come first. I told them that while I understood this was a big moment for Emily, I wasn't willing to upend my entire life for this wedding. I have a job. I have my own life. I can't just drop everything for a week-long trip on top of all the wedding obligations. That's when my mom told me that if I wasn't going to be there 100%, then maybe I shouldn't be there at all. I asked her if she was seriously telling me that if I didn't go on this trip, I wouldn't be welcome at the wedding. She told me I was being selfish and that my attitude was exactly why the family struggled to be close with me. Then my dad chimed in and said, "If you don't want to be part of the family, that's your choice." At that point, I realized this wasn't just about the wedding. This was about every single time I'd been pushed aside in favor of Emily. Every single time I'd been expected to just suck it up and be okay with being treated like an afterthought. So I told them I was done. If my presence was so conditional, then they could have their perfect family event without me. Cue absolute chaos. My parents freaked out, telling me I was being dramatic and making everything about me. Emily started crying, saying I was ruining her wedding over something so small. I got messages from other family members saying I should just do it for the sake of family harmony and that I was being ridiculous. My aunt, on my mom's side, is the only person who actually took my side, saying that she's seen this favoritism play out for years and she's proud of me for standing up for myself. Now my parents have basically cut me off. They told everyone that I refused to be there for Emily, and now I'm getting the cold shoulder from most of my extended family. Meanwhile, Emily has fully replaced me as maid of honor, and even made a passive-aggressive Facebook post about how she's grateful for the people who truly understand the meaning of family. Now my parents are backtracking and saying I should come to the wedding to fix this mess, because my absence is causing division. But at this point, I honestly don't even want to go. They made it clear how little I mattered to them, and now they just want me there so they don't look bad. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to attend? Should I just go to keep the peace, or am I right to stand my ground? Now for the top comments before reading the mini update. Not the a-hole. Your sister is a bridezilla who fell for the wedding industries. This is the important day of your life marketing, and believes those ridiculous lists of wedding party duties they publish. This was never about bonding. She picked you because she expected you to do everything she wanted, and your mother probably suggested it because she thought enforced contact would induce sisterly affection. Drop out of the wedding and do not attend. Take it from someone who has been married for over 35 years. The most important day of your life is today. Yesterday is gone, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. Another married 34 years here, and yep, today is the important day. I see so many of these posts where family members drag the OP on social media and always wonder why the OP doesn't use that same social media to set the record straight. For example, when Bridezilla complains about OP not being a team player on her special Princess Day, why wouldn't the OP respond? So sorry you're feeling sad. I know you wanted me to quit my job to go on your trip with you, but I simply couldn't afford to do that. I'm also feeling sad that you kicked me out of the wedding party and uninvited me from the wedding because I couldn't afford to quit my job. You're right. I'll make a social media post in response as well and reach out to the family members that are icing me out. Mini update. I'm not even sure where to put this update since so much is happening so fast, and I'm relatively new to this site, but here we go. My parents and a big chunk of the family are getting ready to leave for the pre-wedding trip soon, which means things have been weirdly quiet. No over-the-top guilt trips, no dramatic passive-aggressive messages about preserving the family harmony, just pure, unadulterated radio silence. I'm guessing they're too busy with last-minute packing and planning to keep up the pressure on me, which, honestly, has been a relief. That being said, I've started getting messages from some relatives who had no problem ignoring me a few days ago. Suddenly, my cousins are checking in like nothing happened, and my mom's sister, not my supportive aunt, the other one, sent me a long-winded message about how family disagreements shouldn't last forever, and how I should just let this go for the sake of keeping the peace. At first, I wasn't sure why they were all suddenly reaching out, but after talking to my aunt, I think I get it now. My parents have clearly been doing damage control behind the scenes, trying to keep everyone on their side before the wedding. They've had a few days to spin their version of events, but now that they're about to leave, they're realizing they won't have as much control over the situation while they're gone. That's probably why some of these relatives are suddenly reaching out, to test the waters and see where I stand. So, I've decided I'm going to respond, but not yet. I'm waiting until tomorrow, when my parents and Emily are officially on their trip and too distracted to jump in and twist the story immediately. Once they're gone, I'm reaching out to everyone on my parents' side. The ones who ignored me, the ones who are suddenly acting friendly, all of them. I'm not going to argue or explain myself. I'm just going to send them the exact messages my parents sent me when they told me not to come. No extra commentary, no justifications, just their own words. I don't expect everyone to suddenly take my side, but at the very least, I want them to see the truth before my parents try to twist things even further. I'll update again once I see how that goes. See you in the next one. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling out my dad for trying to police my siblings' emotions since he ended his engagement? My dad was in a relationship with Sue for about 3 years. They got engaged in October and had done a lot of future planning together, from whether they'd have kids, to where they'd live, and other stuff. Sue had no kids but wanted them. Dad has 4 kids, including me, 17 female, and my younger siblings, 11, 10, and 8. Our mom died 6 years ago. Obviously, I don't know everything that happened, but from what I know, Sue was okay with not having biological kids, and she said we'd be enough, but she wanted to be an equal parent and adult in the family. Not so much with me, she had realized that ship had sailed, but with my siblings, she expected to be a 50% decision maker, and someone who had access to everything for them. This included the life insurance money from mom that was split between me and my siblings. She said she wanted to know everything we had and where it was, and she wanted to be a part of how we'd spend it. One big example is Sue strongly believes in going to a good college, an expensive college, and getting a practical degree. So she would have expected the money to go largely to that, not to community college or trade school, and she definitely didn't want it to go towards some of the possibilities mom laid out, traveling, buying a house, and things like trade school or even to support us through an apprenticeship. My dad said he couldn't support that, and especially giving her access to the money mom left was wrong. It was something they fought over. He also told her it would be up to my siblings what kind of role she had. And he pointed out that none of my siblings called her mom yet and may never. She said as long as she was treated as one, she didn't need the title. The breakup happened after my dad and I had discussed more about my plans for after graduation next month. Crazy to think about. I'm not going to college, and I have a placement at a bakery where I'm basically apprenticing for the next 2 years after graduation. Dad supports this 100%. He's also aware I was going to move out after graduation. Sue didn't like the topic of discussion, and even though she wasn't trying to have the same say with me like she did with my siblings, she didn't like being left out. While she was moving all her stuff out, she said some things that made me extra relieved she was gone. Because I feel like she would have really tried to mold my siblings into the kids she wanted and made them live out these dreams she had for kids she doesn't have. She said I was wasting money and time on baking, when I should be looking into a smart degree and other things like that. She also stated my siblings would benefit from 2 parents making decisions for them instead of one. After she moved out, it was so clear Dad was bummed, and I tried to help cheer him up, but he took the breakup hard. My siblings didn't take it hard. They actually didn't have any issues after Sue was gone. And that's something my dad clearly can't accept. He's corrected them for being so okay, telling them they should be more upset that Sue was gone, especially my baby brother, who was only 5 when Dad started dating her. Another time, Dad sat us down and explained that she wasn't coming back, and we said it was okay. And he told my sister it wasn't, and asked if she wasn't worried about coming to him for girl stuff. She told him she had me. Then there was the day he asked if they missed Sue at all. And before they could answer, he said they didn't act like it, and that Sue was a part of their lives for a good while, and they should miss her. My baby brother told me Dad had asked him why he didn't ask to call or even see Sue, and my brother wasn't sure how to answer because when he said he didn't want to call or see her, Dad told him he should be asking. He should care more. So I took my dad to the side, and I told him that I get that it sucks that his relationship didn't work out. I said we understood he missed Sue and had loved and wanted her. I told him that doesn't mean he can police the way my siblings feel or their emotions around the breakup. I told him it's different for them. He told me she was in their lives for almost 3 years, and that should make an impact. And I said he chose her, not them. I told him it looked like he wanted them to beg for her back so he could get back together with her and give in to what she wanted. And I said if that's what he wants, then nobody could stop him, but he still can't police their feelings. My dad said I don't understand, and he said my siblings are all acting like they're my age instead of their ages. Am I the a-hole? I think your dad is regretting his decision, but too stubborn to admit he wants her back, and now he's upset the kids can't be his excuse. A part of me also wonders if she's moved on and started dating, making it real for him. Yep, I think this comes from his regret, and he doesn't want to say he took her back without my siblings wanting it when he originally broke up with her for them. I think it's very telling the kids don't miss her and aren't upset she's gone. They didn't even want to see her. Dear gods, is his mother still living? 'Cause you need to call Grams over to come get her kid. He acting a fool all over the place. You already help raise her siblings. I don't think it's too much to ask. You not have to parent your own father too. Not the a-hole. My grandparents are still alive on his side, but they don't even live in the same country anymore. Otherwise, I would get their help with this. Last story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up over my children's school arrangements? I, 36 female, lost my late husband 5 years ago when my kids were 7 and 5. It was a huge work accident caused by machinery in his company's factory, and we were paid a large amount in damages. I paid off the house and kept the remaining money in trusts for my kids, for when they go to college and for their other expenses. They can put a down payment on a home if they want when they get the remaining trust amount after college, whatever they wish to do. I also kept some for emergencies. I am a math teacher, so I make ends meet. With no college savings to worry about, I send my kids to an elite private school where I teach math because it opens doors for many opportunities. I'm not making much money, but education is free for up to 2 children until they finish 12th grade. I could make more in other fields, but that still wouldn't be enough to cover their education. I also have a good retirement plan and health benefits. I have a job until the age of 60 unless I mess something up. It's an 8 to 2 job and gives me work-life balance. The school bus picks us up at 7:15 a.m. and we reach home by 3 p.m. at the latest. So it has benefits. It saves me fuel and nanny issues, and we get a good number of holidays. I started seeing my now ex-boyfriend, let's call him Henry, 2 years ago. He was also a widower and has a decent job, but he has a mortgage and 3 kids to save for. Despite earning way more than me, he barely saves anything for himself outside of retirement, so he doesn't have extra money for himself. I often treated him because I knew how much he struggled, buying him branded clothes and things. He used to gift me things too, but I always felt bad because I knew he was struggling. We wanted to have a simple marriage, but a roadblock came up regarding the children's school education. He said either we pay for his 3 kids' schooling or all the kids go to cheaper schools. I refused. I told him that everything else, gifts and other things, would be the same for all the kids, but there would be no compromise on education. I'm doing this job only for my kids. My kids had to lose their father for this. That led to huge fights over the month, and finally, I broke up with him last week. My children's education is free, but we can't afford fees for 3 more children, maybe 1 at most. We are both devastated. He is begging me to take him back, but I don't see a solution. My kids have their friends there, and if I change their school, I feel it will damage my relationship with them. They are used to the school's facilities and their friends there. Henry calls me every day and makes me emotional. My parents say my children won't forgive me if I do that. I told Henry we can wait for another decade, so both of our sets of kids go to college. They're all in the same age group. He said he can't wait forever and that his kids need a mother. I don't have a problem becoming a mom, but I can't just put my own kids aside. I don't want to become a bitter stepmother. I told this to my best friend, and she said I'll be too old to find love in the next decade, and that I need to compromise for my happiness. She said I'm being selfish. She told me it will be tough to find a man for myself when I'm too old, and will have wrinkles in my 40s. Edit. I value my friend because after my husband's death, I fell into depression. She helped me and my kids, cooked for them, cared for them. We've been friends for 30 years. We always praise and criticize each other. No sugarcoating. She was brought up with old school views, but she isn't a bad person. She was raised in a patriarchal household. Despite earning way more than me, he barely saves anything for himself outside retirement. This is a big red flag. Yes, kids and a mortgage are expensive, but this sounds like poor money management. You, on the other hand, have financial and educational security for your kids because of your choices with a settlement, money, and employment. In my opinion, marriage to Henry would be a disaster because your kids would hate Henry, his kids, and you for pulling them from the best possible school for them. Frankly, Henry sounds jealous of your kids' opportunities and would put his kids first in all ways. And ignore your best friend. Nobody is too old to find love, especially someone as young as you. You are putting your kids' well-being first, as you should. Henry is the selfish one, not the a-hole. I'd be more worried about him saying his kids need a mom. No wonder he's devastated she dumped him. It torpedoed his plans to have her take over his financial and parental responsibilities. OP dodged a bullet. Not the a-hole. Your basics don't align. I really love him, but my kids, I can't put them behind. Once he accepted you, he should also prioritize your children and love them, not just you. You are making the responsible and loving choice. Yeah, but it hurts.